Welcome everyone. Welcome to the lecture of general anatomy. Our today's topic is axial skeleton. So, what is the objective of this lecture? The objective is to gain the knowledge about what do we understand by axial skeleton and what are the various components or what are the various bones which is comprising the axial skeleton. Basically, the skeletal system based on the location in the body can be divided into two divisions. First is the axial division and the other is the appendicular division. So, in other words, the axial division is known as the axial skeleton, which is going to comprise the main portion or the central portion or the core of our body. It can be further subdivided into skull, three regions. They are skull and associated bones. The associated bones includes the auditory ossicles and the hyoid bones. Apart from that, vertebral column and the thoracic cage. The thoracic cage is formed by the two types of bones, that is the ribs and sternum forming the thoracic cage. The axial skeleton, out of the 206 bones present in our body, the axial skeleton is comprising of 80 bones. They are Basically, the skull can be further subdivided into two regions. One is the cranial bones and next is the facial bones. The cranial bones are 8 in numbers. They include occipital bones, frontal bones, parietal bones, which are a pair of bones. Basically, the two bones are present in the parietal. Two parietal bones are forming the cranial bone. Two temporal bones are there. The temporal bones are also paired, sphenoid bone and ethmoid bone. So out of all the cranial bones except the parietal and temporal bones, all are present in singular numbers. Next component of the skull is formed by the facial bones. So they include vomer, lacrimal bones, nasal bones, inferior nasal concha, zygomatic bones, maxillary bones and the mandible. Out of all the bones present as the facial bones except vomer and mandible, all are present in pairs. So basically there will be two bones will form the pairs and ultimately there will be 14 bones together form the facial bones. Next is hyoid bone. Basically the hyoid bone is the U-shaped bone which is present in our upper neck. It is the only bone that does not in our body that does not articulate with any other bone present in our body. So basically it is the only single bone which is not articulating with any other types of bones. Except these bones, all the bones will be articulating with at least one other bones, and it also serves as a movable base for the tongue, as well as how our tongue is going to move, that is determined by, or it is determined by the base which is provided by the hyoid bone. Next is the auditory ossicles, or means the bones present in the ears. Basically in the ears or the middle ear is comprised of three tiny bones which transmit the vibration. So basically whatever we are listening, it is not like that we are listening the words on its own. Due to the audible waves which is being suspended in the environment, and that due to that when it is entering our ears, it is due to the arrangement of the bones in such a way that it is going to transmit the vibration. So these vibrations are sent to the brain, and ultimately brain is going to derive what the sound is there. All are derived from Latin words. Basically the three bones are malleus, which acts as, or in other words it will be in the shape of hammer, incus, that is in the shape of anvil, and stapes, that is the stirrup. Stapes is the smallest in the body, or the smallest bone in the body is the stapes. Next part of the axial skeleton is the vertebral column. So in an adult vertebral column, the total number of vertebral or the vertebrae or the bones forming the vertebral column is 26. So out of the 26, 24 are individual vertebrae, that is the separate bones are there, along with sacrum and coccyx, which are working as a single bone. That's why ultimately the total number of bones are 26 in number in the vertebral column. Out of the 24 individual vertebrae, 7 are considered, or there are 3 distinct regions in these vertebrae can be comprised. 7 number of vertebrae forming the, which is present in the cervical region, they are termed as cervical vertebrae. 12 number of vertebrae are present in the thoracic region, and they are termed as thoracic vertebrae. Basically the thoracic vertebrae is going to provide the attachment site where the ribs are going to come and get attached. Apart from that, 5 vertebrae are present in the hip region or the lumbar region, so they are termed as lumbar vertebrae. Along with that, sacrum and coccyx are fused together to form the complete vertebral column in a human adult. What is the structure of a typical vertebrae? That most of the time all the vertebrae are going to follow the same pattern except few of them. Mostly all the vertebrae are going to form, or it is going to contain the body portion which is responsible for the weight bearing of that particular or the entire body. Apart from that, vertebral arc is there. So vertebral arc is the projections which can be seen, or the regions where the bones are getting attached. They are in the form of pedicles or the laminae. Apart from that, always the arrangement of bone in such a way that it will contain the vertebral foramen, and apart from that it will contain 7 processes. They are 2 transverse processes are there, or that they are acting as the lateral horns of the bones. Central directly one, it can be it is acting as an antenna, so that particular process is known as spinous processes. Apart from that, 4 articular processes are there. So the articular processes are responsible for the attachment of the other bones or the adjacent vertebrae. Basically the sacrum is not a single bone, it forms the posterior wall of the pelvis, and it is formed by the fusion of 5 vertebrae. So the superior surface of the sacrum is going to articulate with the inferior most of the vertebral, that is the lumbar vertebrae or the L5, and inferiorly it is going to articulate or form the joint with the coccyx. Next is coccyx. Basically the coccyx is also known as tailbone. It is also formed by the fusion of 3 to 5 vertebrae. So the total number of vertebrae might be in the infantile stage or in the fetal stage will be around 33 or 34 in numbers, that may vary. So the coccyx and the sacrum are formed by the fusion of vertebrae, so ultimately they are counted as a single bones, but it is also offering the slight support to the pelvic organs. Basically the name tailbone is given based on the tail present in the animals itself. In humans the tail is absent, so that the coccyx is present as a tiny bones in us. If in other animals who are using their tails, the bones are going to be elongated and form the tail of the particular animal. Next is the bony thorax, which forms the framework of the chest. The components of the bony thorax include the thoracic vertebrae in the posterior portion. Apart from that, ribs and sternum. The sternum, apart from that, costal cartilage can be found in the anterior portion. Ribs are going to found in the lateral portion. So it is completely forming a cage-like appearance. The function of this bony thorax is it protects the thoracic organs. Apart from that, it supports the shoulder girdle and the upper limb. And along with that, it provides the attachment sites for the muscles so that our entire body can remain intact and it can form the central core of our body. Sternum is basically the anterior most bone which is found in our chest region. The other name of sternum is the breastbone. It is formed by three parts, or the sternum can further be divided into three areas. First is the manubrium, which is the superior part which articulates with the medial end of the clavicles. Second portion is the body, which form the bulk area of the sternum, and the sides of the body is going to articulate for the costal or it is going to provide the surface for the articulation of the costal cartilage of the ribs number 2 to 7. Third is the Gifford process. Basically the Gifford process is the inferior end of the sternum, and usually as we grow older it ossifies and it may be absent in the later stages. The ribs, basically the ribs are forming the lateral wall of the thoracic cage. So there are 12 pairs of ribs are present in each human body. So all the ribs are attached to the vertebral column posteriorly, that is the thoracic vertebrae are providing the attachment area where the ribs are going to attach. The further the ribs can be divided into three categories. First is the true ribs, false ribs and the floating ribs. So the term true ribs are given that the superior 7 pairs of ribs are termed as true ribs. Why the term true has been given to them? Because it attached to the sternum by the costal cartilage in the anterior surfaces. The false ribs are the inferior 3 pairs or the 5 pairs of ribs as known as false pair of ribs. Basically the term false is given there, like in the posterior part it is getting attached to the vertebral column or the thoracic vertebrae, but anteriorly it is not directly getting attached to the sternum. So the after the seven pair, the next 3 pairs are indirectly getting attached to the sternum. They are getting attached to the adjacent superior ribs which is present, so they are getting attached to them. The last 2 pairs are known as floating ribs, that is the ribs from 11th and 12th are short and they are not coming to the anterior portion of our body. So basically that's why the term floating ribs has been given. These are the references from where the contents has been taken. That's all for